So you're looking for a job, right? And you've probably wondered about this. If I put AI skills on my resume, does that actually help me get hired? Well, in this explainer, we're going to find the real answer, all based on a new scientific study.
Let's get right to it. This is the big question on everyone's mind. You spend time learning a new AI tool, you add it to your resume, but does a company really care? Does it actually lead to more interviews?
So how do we find a real answer, not just a guess? Well, some very smart people at the University of Oxford in the UK designed a huge experiment to find out for sure.
Okay, so here's how they did it. It's actually pretty clever. They hired almost 2,000 professional recruiters. These are the people whose job is to look at resumes all day. Then they showed them two resumes right next to each other and asked a really simple question. Which one of these two people would you call for an interview? Now, there's a fancy name for this kind of test. It's called a conjoint experiment. I know, that sounds super complicated, but it's not. The idea is really, really simple. It's just a this or that test. Kind of like when you go to the eye doctor and they ask, is it clearer like this or like this? By making you choose over and over, they learn exactly what you prefer. This experiment does the exact same thing, but for resumes.
So let's just walk through this step by step, nice and easy. First, they got all the recruiters. Second, they showed them two resumes. Third, and this is important, they had to choose only one. And fourth, all the resumes were different. Some had AI skills, some didn't. Some were from younger people, some were from older people. This way, they could figure out what really matters to a recruiter.
All right, so they did all that work, hired all those recruiters, showed them thousands and thousands of resumes. So what happened? What did they find out?
Here it is, the big number. Just putting AI skills on your resume makes you 8 to 15% more likely to get an interview. That's a pretty big deal. To put it another way, if 100 people without AI skills get an interview, somewhere between 108 and 115 people with AI skills would get that same call.
Okay, let's look at this chart. See that line right down the middle? That's your 50-50 starting point. Now, look at all those blue dots. They're all on the right side of the line, right? That means having any kind of AI skill helps you. And get this, even if it's self-reported, which just means you say you know it, it gives you a big advantage. You don't always need a special certificate.
But, and this is a big but, it's not that simple. The boost you get from having AI skills isn't the same for every single job out there. It really depends on the type of work you do. Take a look at this. We've got 3 different jobs here. For software engineers, the people who write code, and for office assistants who help keep an office running, AI skills are super valuable. See how far to the right those dots are? That's a big boost. But now look at the graphic designer. That dot is much, much closer to the middle. The help is a lot smaller. So, what's going on here? Why the huge difference? Well, for a software engineer, AI is just another tool, a really important one that helps them do their job better. But for a graphic designer, well, some recruiters were a bit skeptical. That means they weren't so sure. They kind of worried, hey, is this person using AI instead of being truly creative? Okay, now we get to what I think is the most amazing part of this whole study. We know AI skills help, but can they help people who, might have a tougher time finding a job, like older workers or people who didn't go to a big university? Sometimes those things can be a disadvantage, something that makes it harder to get hired. To get this, there's a key idea we need to talk about. It's called a compensatory signal. Again, sounds fancy, but the idea is super simple. It's when one really good thing on your resume can cancel out something that a recruiter might see as, well, not so good. The good thing, in this case, is an AI skill. And wow, just look at this chart. It shows everything. That red area is what they call a hiring penalty. It just means you have less of a chance to get the interview. But look what happens when those same people add an AI skill. Bam! The dot jumps over to the right, sometimes all the way to that middle line. The penalty basically disappears. It's canceled out.
So, what does this all mean? It means AI skills can be a great equalizer. An equalizer is something that makes the game fair for everyone. It levels the playing field. For an older worker, an AI certificate can make the age difference not matter. And for someone without a university degree, an AI certificate can work just like a degree, especially in some jobs.
All right, I saved the biggest surprise for last. We've seen that AI skills are a big help, but here's a new question. Does it matter who is reading your resume? Does that person change how much your AI skills are worth?
And the answer is a massive yes. It matters a lot. Look at this chart. The orange dots, those are the recruiters who use AI all the time in their own jobs. The blue triangles,
Those are recruiters who barely use AI, or maybe never. For the recruiters who use AI, your skills are a huge deal. But for those who don't, your AI skills don't matter nearly as much.
This is what the researchers call the gatekeeper effect. Think about it. A gatekeeper is the person who decides if you get in or not. In hiring, that's the recruiter. And what this shows is that their own personal habits, whether they use AI, can open or close the gate for you. So the value of your skills depends on the person looking at them.
Okay, let's wrap this up. What does all this research really mean for you? Whether you're looking for a job or you're the one hiring, let's talk about the big takeaways. First, if you're looking for a job, the message is super clear. Number 1, put AI skills on your resume. Yes, it works. Number 2, if you're an older worker or maybe you don't have a university degree, getting an AI certificate is a seriously powerful move. It can be a substitute, something that takes the place of that missing degree.
And hey, this isn't just for job seekers. For companies, there's a huge lesson here. Your recruiters might have a bias. That's like an unfair opinion they don't even know they have, just based on the tech they use. If your recruiters don't use AI, you might be missing out on amazing candidates. So making sure your hiring team understands technology is super important.
So, we'll leave you with this final big question. We always thought things like your education or your years of experience were the big gatekeepers to getting a great job. But maybe, just maybe, the new secret gatekeeper is whether the person reading your resume uses AI themselves. Pretty wild to think about, isn't it? Thanks for joining this explainer.